Left, I want to look at a few reasons why God gave us the law. Why God gave us the law, and remind us of the gospel of Jesus Christ as we recognize our inability to obey, not just many of the practical outflows, the applications of the law, but we're unable to obey as we should, even the summary of the whole law, to love our neighbor and to love the Lord our God. If you think of those two as the roots of a tree, and as you go up the trunk of the tree, you have the Ten Commandments, and then once you get to the branches of the tree, you have many of the further applications of the law, like a food law, for example, or other things depending on the covenant of God's people at that time. It's not that we just fail at the branches, we also fail at the trunk. And it's not that we just fail at the trunk, we also fail at the roots. We fail at two simple laws. Romans 3:19 through 20 says, "Now we know that whatever the law says, it speaks to those who are under the law, so that every mouth may be stopped and the whole world may be held accountable to God. For by works of the law, no human being will be justified in his sight, since through the law comes knowledge of sin." So everyone will be accountable to the law of God, for the law of God is written on the hearts of all men. The Israelites will be held accountable to a higher standard, as we saw over and over Jesus say, because they didn't just have it on their hearts, but they had it written by the very fingers of God. And Christians, I would then argue, have an even higher standard because we have about 1,000 of these things that we don't read in the full revelation of Jesus Christ. So we should be students of the law. But as Romans 3 just said, what the law does is it makes us knowledgeable of our sin. It makes us knowledgeable of our sin. So God wrote out the law for us even further. This is why one of the reasons he gave us the law. He wrote it out even further, articulating it so that everyone can understand. He made it simple for us, not so that we would know the rungs of a ladder so that we can climb to heaven in our righteousness, but the opposite, so that we can see our utter inability to obey any one of these laws. It made us knowledgeable of our sin, Romans 3:20 says. The law was a teacher, and it made us knowledgeable. If, as you read the law of God, church, and you think, man, I thought I was a pretty good guy, but as I read more laws, I realize I'm even a better guy than I thought. You're either not listening to the teacher, or you're listening to false teachers who redefine the law of God. And they convince you that what is right is wrong and what is wrong is right. And so you think, I'm doing a great job. It teaches us our sin. The law teaches you your sin, church.